buzzing energy of innovation, the rapid change, and just the sheer curiosity that really defines the current AI landscape.
Yeah, it feels like things are moving so fast.
Exactly. And you imagine being part of a real-time conversation, packed with insights, maybe some frustrations too, and those surprising revelations that just make you stop and think.
What's really fascinating here, I think, is our source material for this deep dive. It's not your typical polished press release or, dry academic paper.
Not at all.
Instead, we're drawing from this amazing collection of candid, totally unfiltered exchanges. They come directly from a really vibrant community of AI professionals, enthusiasts, people really in the trenches.
Right. These are the raw thoughts, the actual questions people are asking, the observations from the very cutting edge of artificial intelligence.
It feels much more real, doesn't it?
It really does. So our mission today is to unpack these dynamic discussions. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, the key insights.
And explore the latest advancements, obviously.
Of course. But also grapple with the ethical questions they raise, which are huge.
Absolutely critical.
And consider how AI is fundamentally reshaping our work, the tools we use every day, maybe even our sense of self.
So get ready for some aha moments, I hope, and maybe some surprising facts as we try to navigate the complexities of AI together.
Okay, let's really unpack this AI tool landscape first. It feels like an incredibly dynamic space right now, almost like a frontier,
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the most talked about phenomena in these community conversations is something we've kind of started calling the COMET phenomenon.
Ah, yes, COMET. That captures it perfectly, doesn't it? That initial frenzy, that powerful fear of missing out, the FOMO that just surrounds access to these cutting-edge AI tools like COMET.
You could really feel it in the discussions.
No, absolutely. There's this palpable frustration among the early adopters, people waiting anxiously for invitations. One user described it so vividly as an ever-dangling carrot.
I can picture that.
Right. And another one just lamented, next year or never. They keep postponing. It really highlights that tension, between how eager users are and the way developers roll these things out.
I completely get that anticipation. It's not just about wanting to try the shiny new thing, is it?
No, it's more than that.
It's wanting to be right there at the forefront, seeing what's actually possible now. And we've seen all sorts of ways people were trying to get access emerge from these discussions.
Like what?
Well, direct invites, obviously, but also free accounts, though those often came with, limitations on how many people you could invite or feature restrictions.
Right, the classic tiered access.
But what's truly inspiring, I think, is seeing the community's collective effort. People trying to get access for everyone.
That part was great.
Actively chain inviting folks, as they put it. Really paying it forward, creating this kind of reciprocal ecosystem.
Helping each other out.
Yeah. And there was even a big shout out to someone named Stephanie for her role in getting invites for the fellowship group. It just shows the power of that grassroots collaboration,
Yeah.
Getting access to these exclusive tools.
And then once you finally get that coveted access...
The moment of truth.
Exactly. The real-world performance and the practicality of COMET really come into sharp focus. And it revealed some genuinely contrasting user experiences.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, some users reported COMET being quite jittery, especially when running, say, more than 8 or 9 tabs.
Okay.
And this was on high-end Macs, like the M1 Max Studio with 32 gigs of RAM. So not exactly underpowered machines.
No, definitely not. That suggests maybe an optimization challenge.
That's what it sounds like. Yet others were reporting totally seamless operation, even with 20 tabs open.
20 tabs, wow.
On Windows machines that had plenty of RAM, like systems with a Ryzen 7A8 RTHS processor.
Huh. So a real difference there.
A huge difference. And this performance gap, especially hitting those high-end Macs, it's not just a technical glitch.
Right. No, it points to something bigger.
It underscores this critical challenge in this whole rapidly evolving AI ecosystem, just how difficult it is to optimize these highly dynamic applications for all the different hardware architectures out there.
That immediately brings up that crucial question, doesn't it? Cross-platform compatibility, hardware optimization. It's a constant battle.
It really is.
It seems like it might be a Windows versus Mac thing, maybe, as one user put it. Even though generally people think of the Mac as a beast for other tough tasks, like 4K video editing.
Right. You wouldn't expect it to struggle there.
And what's even more interesting is how quickly software updates can change things. One user noted it actually happened after the update. It was fine before that, with a bit of, wry amusement.
So an update actually made it worse, potentially.
It seems like it in that case. This rapid iteration, while it's great for pushing boundaries, It also means users are navigating this constantly shifting landscape where performance can just fluctuate overnight.
That's got to be frustrating.
Totally. It shows how even with these amazing cutting-edge tools, the underlying infrastructure, the platform, can be a major bottleneck, and that directly impacts user trust, adoption.
Absolutely. What does this mean for the developers building these things and for us users trying to decide what hardware to buy? It's complex.
It really is. It just highlights this continuous, sometimes volatile evolution of these tools.
But, okay, beyond the performance quirks, which are definitely a thing.
Yeah, let's talk about what people are doing with it.
Right. Users are finding immediate practical use cases for Comet that span both personal and professional life.
Okay, give me some examples.
Well, some are amusing, like effortlessly placing smooth Chipotle orders.
Huh? Okay, I can see the appeal of an AI streamlining my lunch order.
And who hasn't wished for an AI co-pilot for those little everyday tasks, right? Even the tasty ones. It just shows how deeply AI is getting woven into daily life, sort of blurring the lines between the mundane and the revolutionary.
Absolutely. It's about finding that genuine efficiency and convenience wherever you can, and on the professional side.
That's where it gets really interesting. We're seeing Comet being deployed for quite sophisticated tasks, things like enhancing LinkedIn engagement,
Okay, that makes sense.
meticulously tracking key business metrics, and even preparing for those high-stakes job interviews by doing deep market analysis.
Wow, okay. That's serious utility.
And one user specifically pointed out that the Comet Assistant's browser integration is a total game changer for testing local applications.
How so?
It apparently eliminates the need for taking cumbersome screenshots, which, traditionally eats up valuable time and effort for developers and testers.
Oh, I can see that. That would be a huge efficiency gain.
Exactly. It transforms Comet into this proper co-pilot right inside your browser, streamlining workflows in ways we're probably only just starting to appreciate.
So we've journeyed through the user experience with Comet, from that initial FOMO hype to the nitty-gritty of performance and practical uses. Now let's shift our gaze a bit towards the titans, right?
Yes.
The big players driving the fundamental tech, OpenAI and Google.
Right, the ones whose moves really reshape the entire landscape. It feels like this constant battle for dominance, shifting sands, rapid innovation dictating the pace.
Absolutely. And it's fascinating observing OpenAI's journey through these shifting sands, as you call them. There was so much anticipation for ChatGPT-5's launch.
Huge hype.
But the reactions from the community, from what we're seeing, have been really mixed.
Yeah, not universally glowing.
Users have said its performance didn't always live up to that 5 PhDs in the pocket hype, suggesting that, while it's powerful, maybe it wasn't the revolutionary leap some expected for just everyday tasks.
Interesting. It's hard to live up to that kind of expectation sometimes.
True. And beyond just performance, there's been significant concern, real worry actually, about OpenAI deprecating older models, beloved models like ChatGPT 4.0, 4.5, 4.1.
Hope people relied on those.
Exactly. For many, these models were deeply ingrained, totally integral to their established workflows. Removing them can be incredibly disruptive.
Yeah, it forces users to adapt, find new solutions. It could definitely impact loyalty, couldn't it?
I can totally empathize with that feeling. It's like losing a trusted colleague or that one tool you've really perfected your craft with.
Yeah, like they pulled the rug out.
A bit. And now it seems OpenAI is making GPT-5 available free for all, free users capped.
Okay, so free access, but with limits.
Right, which looks like a strategic customer acquisition move, especially when you see platforms like GenSpark are actually defaulting to GPT-5 as their main deep research model. That pushes wider adoption.
So OpenAI is definitely stirring the pot with that move, trying to broaden its user base, maintain that competitive edge by getting the latest model into more hands, even with limitations.
It feels like a calculated risk, doesn't it? Trading maybe some short-term performance complaints for that long-term market penetration.
Meanwhile, you've got Claude from Anthropic facing its own set of challenges. But it still has this remarkably strong user base, especially among the more technical folks.
Right. Claude's got its loyalists. What challenges are they facing?
Well, Anthropic recently brought in new weekly rate limits for Claude subscribers.
Limiting usage. Why?
They linked it directly to policy violations like account sharing and reselling access.
Okay, understand.
And also advanced usage patterns like running Claude 247 in the background.
Running at 247. Wow, okay. Someone was really pushing the limits there.
Seems like it. But users are genuinely concerned now that these new limits might indicate, well, maybe a bad architecture under the hood, or that Anthropic is basically admitting that they don't have much control over how these powerful models are actually being used.
That's a tricky perception issue for them.
It is. Yet, despite these limitations, a lot of technical users still find Claude Code the best. They rave about its robustness, its ability to infer what the user actually means,
Oh, that's interesting. Inference.
and critically, its internal meta-prompting.
What's metaprompting?
It means Claude isn't just reacting instantly to your prompt, it's effectively having this internal dialogue with itself, using subprompts to kind of refine its understanding and figure out the best approach before giving you the final answer.
Like it's thinking it through more deeply.
Exactly. This layered self-correction is precisely why technical users find it so robust for complex coding tasks. And there's a really strong feeling out there that Claude overtook ChatGPT in enterprise use cases and in coding because of this more nuanced capability.
Fascinating. So while OpenAI and Anthropic are navigating these complex user perceptions and policy challenges,
Google's just been pushing forward with really rapid innovation, right? Making significant strides across its AI offerings.
yeah, NotebookLM, for example, that's generating considerable excitement, especially its visual
Yeah.
features.
Oh, NotebookLM is amazing. I'm just fascinated by its ability to summarize huge documents, like turning a 93-page document into an 8-minute video. That's incredible.
Wow, 93 pages to 8 minutes.
Yeah, and its capacity to generate video overviews and these intricate mind maps. It's a complete game changer for learning and just consuming information.
How does that work?
Oh.
Why is video or visual better?
Well, it leverages the fact that your brain can process visuals much quicker than text. Something like 90% of the total information transmitted to your brain is visual.
90%. That's huge.
It is, and your brain can process these visuals something like 60,000 times faster than text.
60,000 times.
Okay,
That explains why visual summaries are so powerful.
exactly. It means quicker comprehension, better retention. It just transforms how we interact with dense information. Now, some users did experience some initial rollout inconsistencies, features appearing at different times.
She had her rollout hiccups.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's clear Google is shipping some great stuff and really innovating in how we consume and synthesize information.
And then there's Gemini.
Right, Gemini, which continues to gain that competitive edge, notably with its really impressive higher context window, 1 million tokens.
1 million compared to Claude's.
Claude's 200,000.
Okay, that's a massive difference. What does 1 million tokens let you do?
Well, to put it in perspective, 1 million tokens could basically encompass an entire novel or hundreds and hundreds of pages of dense technical documentation.
So it can handle much longer conversations or documents without losing coax.
Precisely. It can grasp incredibly complex, long-form discussions, intricate code bases, without losing the context, which is a huge advantage.
And they have other things too, right?
Yeah, the impressiveness of Gemini 2.5 Pro CLI, that's a command line interface that really appeals to developers. Plus, they recently added DeepThink for their Ultra subscribers.
DeepThink, what's that?
It's a feature designed for more extensive, more nuanced problem solving, really underscores Google's commitment to continuous innovation and just aggressive expansion in the AI space.
They're definitely not standing still.
Not at all. They're not just tweaking things. They're fundamentally enhancing the scope and the depth of their model's capabilities.
So beyond the giants, this AI ecosystem is just incredibly diverse, isn't it? New tools, niche solutions popping up constantly. It's almost dizzying.
It really is a dynamic landscape. Take the agentic browser space. These are tools designed to automate tasks across the web for you.
Right, like having a little robot assistant browse for you.
Kind of, yeah. We saw early contenders like Minimax Agent and Manus gaining traction. Initially, many users felt they experienced better results compared to Manus using Minimax. So maybe an early lead there.
But things change fast, right?
Incredibly fast. The dynamics of pricing and features in the sector are constantly shifting. Manus, even though it offered attractive referral bonuses and boasted high accuracy, seems to be falling behind on inflated price now.
The cost factor.
Exactly, especially compared to new, more cost-effective alternatives that are hitting the market. It just highlights that competitive pressure you have to deliver capability and value.
So it's not just about being the best technically, but also about being accessible, economically viable.
Precisely. Alternatives like Navin are jumping in boasting more agents, protection, GDPR, and intelligence. They're aiming for that more robust compliance solution.
And the cheaper options.
Meanwhile, you've got Super Agent and Deep Agent presenting themselves as more cost-effective choices. They promise similar results without that higher price tag.
Interesting. And Manus's cost? How does that
Yeah.
work?
Well, their cost structure is apparently influenced by its model selection. It supposedly dynamically chooses between different underlying AI models, maybe GPT-4, maybe something else, based on how complex the task is and the context window needed.
So more complex tasks, potentially higher cost.
That seems to be the idea. It's this fascinating dance between advanced capability, the tricky details of AI model usage, and market affordability. Developers are constantly having to innovate on pricing and features.
It raises that important question, though. How do these specialized tools actually carve out a sustainable niche in such a crowded, competitive market?
That's the million-dollar question. We are seeing a distinct rise in AI tailored for very specific audiences, particularly creators and developers.
Like what?
Well, OnLook, for instance. It's an interesting newcomer focused on web design, and they offer daily free credits.
The freemium model to get people hooked.
Exactly. It's a great way to attract users and let them see the value without needing an immediate financial commitment.
And for developers, you mentioned coding tools earlier.
Yes, the integration of AI there is accelerating incredibly fast. We now have sophisticated tools like Cursor. It's basically an AI-first code editor designed to streamline the whole development process.
Okay.
Then there's Augment Code, which is more like an intelligent development environment, an IDE that integrates AI directly into various existing code editors people already use. It enhances everything from code completion to debugging.
So augmenting the tools they already have.
Right, and even the tech giants are jumping in. Amazon's got a tool called Kiro. It just reflects how critical AI is becoming in developer workflows, promising higher productivity, more efficiency.
And then there was ZAI, you mentioned that one.
Ah, yes, ZAI. Being called a DeepSeek moment from China, it's really notable for its API, which is apparently hell cheap, significantly more affordable than even DeepSeek's offerings.
Wow, okay. Price is a big differentiator.
Huge. And that low cost, combined with its potential for what users are calling vibe coding.
Vibe coding. What's that?
Sort of a more intuitive, fluid coding experience, I gather. Less rigid, more flowy.
Okay, intriguing.
And its suitability for academic use, especially with low-risk data, makes it really interesting. Plus, apparently, it doesn't require complex setups like Supabase or RIS, environment variables, API keys for basic stuff. That lowers the barrier to entry quite a bit.
Makes it easier to just jump in and try.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how all these diverse tools are being packaged and marketed.
How so?
We're seeing this growing trend of AI tool annual subscriptions being bundled together at massive discounts. Like, you might see an offer for $10,000 worth of various tools for just, say, $200 or $350.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing deal on the surface.
It does. It's that classic FOMO marketing strategy, right? Designed to make you jump on a deal before it disappears, create that sense of urgency.
But there's always a catch, isn't there?
Often, yeah. Users have noted potential pitfalls with these bundles. Things like unexpected quota caps on usage.
Ah, so it's not unlimited use.
Not always. And frustrating traffic issues on the redemption sites. Apparently, servers can crash from high volume, or even automated bots trying to bulk redeem the codes.
Oh, wow, that sounds messy.
It can be. Some users who paid, say, $200 for a bundle ended up with a suite of tools they barely, if ever, actually used. It highlights that you need to look beyond the perceived discount and figure out the real value to you.
Good point. Are there other ways to find these tools?
Yeah, platforms like Join Secret and Sokasumi, which bills itself as an AI agent marketplace, are popping up. They're new avenues not just for finding discounted tools, but maybe even for developers to monetize their own AI solutions.
Interesting. A marketplace model.
Which inevitably leads us to that broader discussion around the AI wrapper business.
Right. Explain that again. Wrappers.
So these are companies that essentially build a specialized app or a user-friendly interface on top of the big foundational models from OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, etc.
They're wrapping the core AI.
Exactly, wrapping it with a unique product, hoping to carve out their own niche. But there's this growing pessimistic view that traditional SaaS is dead and that the AI wrapper business is proving to be exceptionally tough.
Why tough?
The core concern, the real fear, is that the core AI companies will cannibalize these smaller wrapper players.
Meaning they'll just build the wrapper's features into their own main product.
Precisely. To beat their own competition, they might absorb the features or just offer them directly, making it an incredibly challenging market for new entrants. It forces them to find genuinely defensible moats, something unique beyond just a clever interface.
Okay, let's shift gears now. This feels like a good point to move into some of the deeper, more complex issues bubbling up around AI. The ethical undercurrents, the data dilemmas. These are increasingly defining the landscape, aren't they?
Absolutely. And the New York Times lawsuit against OpenAI is just a huge focal point here. It's bringing some very uncomfortable truths into the light.
What's the core issue there?
It really throws the conflict over data privacy into the spotlight, particularly around what deleted actually means for your data.
Right.
The court order in that case specifically demands OpenAI retain even deleted ChatGPT chats and API content.
Even deleted content?
Yeah.
Wow.
The implications are genuinely chilling. It basically tells users that deleted isn't really deleted when you interact with these powerful AI models.
It completely shatters a fundamental assumption most of us probably have about digital privacy and controlling our own data.
It really does. And this order directly impacts users with ChatGPT Free, Plus, Pro, and Team subscriptions.
So most individual users.
Right. And also OpenAI API users, unless they have specific zero data retention agreements in place.
But who isn't impacted?
Critically, ChatGPT Enterprise and Edu customers are explicitly not affected by this retention order.
Ah, the enterprise tier is exempt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this divergence in policy has led some people in the community to see it as a pretty clever marketing move to go for enterprise.
Suggesting that the only path to real data privacy and control might be through these more expensive enterprise-grade solutions.
That's certainly the interpretation some are making. It strongly incentivizes users and especially organizations towards those enterprise solutions where the data governance promises are much stronger with explicit agreements.
There's more controversy too, right, about privilege.
Yes. Adding another layer, OpenAI is reportedly advocating for a kind of special privilege similar to attorney-client or medical privilege for AI data.
What would that mean?
It would effectively grant AI interactions a protected legal status, shielding them from certain types of legal disclosure, which, raises huge questions about transparency, accountability, and just the whole legal framework for these emerging technologies.
It really highlights that immense challenge, doesn't it? That the speed at which the technology is moving means the law will always be behind.
We're always playing catch up.
The regulatory frameworks, the legal systems, they just aren't equipped to keep pace with AI's rapid advancements.
Yeah.
There's so much uncertainty about how AI-generated or AI-processed information will be ultimately legally treated.
Is it intellectual property? Is it private conversation? Is it discoverable data in a lawsuit?
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
And that creates this vast landscape of gray areas for users, for businesses, making compliance and risk management incredibly complex.
And it's not just privacy. The issues of AI bias, transparency, accountability, these are huge, urgent concerns that keep emerging as AI systems become more pervasive.
We're seeing concrete examples of this bias in action now, aren't we? Which really brings these abstract ideas home.
Yes, a really stark and concerning example surfaced with Workday AI. That's a widely used HR platform.
Right, lots of companies use Workday.
And it was found to be quietly blocking job seekers unfairly before any human even looks at their resume.
Wow, just blocking them automatically.
Based on the AI's assessment, it's a tangible demonstration of how algorithmic bias can have real-world, truly detrimental impacts on people's lives, their opportunities.
That's terrifying. What happened then?
Well, this discovery rightfully prompted a judge to mandate that companies using such systems must reveal themselves and show how the AI made its decisions.
Bringing in the concept of explainability.
Exactly, the ability to understand and interpret the reasoning behind an AI's output. It's fundamental when AI is making decisions that profoundly impact people, jobs, finances, and we can't understand why.
You need to be able to see the thinking.
Absolutely. What's particularly striking, though, from the community discussions is this really candid sentiment among some users. One person just openly questioned, ethics out the window for convenience, I suppose that's the norm.
Oof. That reflects a real frustration, maybe even resignation.
I think so. A sense that major tech companies, Meta, Amazon, Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, they frequently seem to get away with ethical violations. They might get fined, but the fines are often pennies for them compared to their vast revenue.
So not much of a deterrent.
Doesn't seem like it. And this disparity in consequences, it raises an important question about the true balance of control in this AI ecosystem.
Oh, so?
Well, we see it play out in broader industry debates, like the one between Cloudflare and Perplexity about agentic composition and the ethics of web crawling using proxies.
Explain agentic composition again.
It refers to AI systems that can kind of dynamically combine or orchestrate multiple AI agents or tools to achieve a complex goal. Often involves autonomous web navigation, scraping data.
Okay.
And then you have Anthropic's recent decision to implement rate limiting on Claude, partly due to perceived misuse, like running it 24/7. Some users saw that as a signal that Anthropic maybe lacks fundamental control over how its powerful models are truly being used out in the wild.
But then there's the flip side, isn't there?
There is a compelling counterargument, often voiced by users, that maybe these companies actually have too much control over user access and the output they get.
How does that manifest?
One user talked about getting into ridiculous, unfathomably long threads with tools like ChatGPT, where the AI seems stuck in a loop, unable to break out of some predetermined path.
Right, like it's stuck on rails.
Exactly. And similarly, people complained about arbitrary rejections of research expansion by Claude, where the AI just wouldn't follow a certain line of inquiry, even if it seemed logical.
So it makes you wonder how much genuine autonomy or control users really have over their interactions. Is the perceived lack of control by the companies more about managing resource abuse than an actual inability to govern their model's behavior?
It's a really good question, and it brings us to another critical aspect, especially relevant in our hyper-connected digital world, the confidentiality challenge, particularly within supposedly private groups and when using AI tools.
And the Perplexity Fellowship chat itself, the source of much of this discussion, serves as a kind of intriguing, maybe cautionary case study here.
Absolutely, because there's this inherent impression that this group is private, right? It operates behind an approval process, it feels exclusive, secure.
You assume a level of confidentiality.
You do. But there's this underlying, very real concern that if whatever has been in the group so far is now public and forkable on GitHub, well, that fundamentally voids the exclusivity, the perceived privacy.
That possibility, information leakage from seemingly private digital spaces, is a critical vulnerability.
Huge. And it led to practical suggestions, like adding a prominent data privacy access and governance clause right in the group descriptions, and making sure member lists are consistently kept private, moving beyond just impressions of privacy to concrete protections.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? In many digital spaces, deleted isn't really deleted, and our assumptions about privacy can be dangerously misleading.
Totally. And this ties directly into the crucial concept of data leakage protection. There is a strong emphasis within the community on the fellows needing to lead by example on governance, ethics, and data privacy.
Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk.
Exactly. It's about active, vigilant behavior. It was even observed that some fellows, maybe intentionally, maybe not, found ways to extract data on other members who weren't explicitly listed. That just underscores the vulnerabilities, even in curated groups.
So the collective advice is pretty clear.
Emphatic, I'd say. Avoid anything with confidential data for sure in these environments that might not be as private or secure as they first appear.
And this need for caution extends directly to how AI is being integrated into sensitive professional context, right?
Oh, definitely. Think about AI note takers. They're increasingly integrated into platforms like Google Meetings.
Right, the auto summary tool.
Exactly. And these tools often feature proactive inclusion of bookending in the summary.
Bookending, what does that mean?
It means the AI isn't just transcribing. It's designed to intelligently structure the summary by identifying and incorporating key opening remarks, closing points, main discussion topics, aiming for a more cohesive, digestible recap.
Which sounds really convenient for generating quick meeting minutes.
Incredibly convenient. But it raises a critical privacy question. What happens if sensitive client strategy discussions or confidential post-meeting debriefs Things intended to be strictly private
Oh,
are automatically summarized by the AI and then maybe auto-sent to unintended recipients, perhaps via a default setting or an overlooked distribution list.
that is a potential nightmare scenario for anyone handling sensitive information. Could lead to severe data breaches, competitive disadvantages.
Absolutely. It powerfully reinforces the need for extreme caution, heightened awareness, whenever you integrate AI into workflows handling any form of sensitive or confidential information.
The sheer convenience offered by these tools can quickly flip into a significant liability if their data handling, privacy settings, distribution defaults aren't meticulously understood and managed.
We're definitely moving into an era where those default settings could have profound, totally unintended consequences.
Okay, so we've dug into the powerful tools, the complex ethical questions.
Yeah.
But it's crucial we also explore the human element in this AI revolution.
Right, the communities forming, the collaboration happening, and how our very sense of work is profoundly evolving. It's this complex interplay between the tech and us, the humans.
And the Perplexity Fellowship, again, seems to be a powerful catalyst for connection and engagement within this AI community.
It really does. It's consistently highlighted in the discussions as the source that missing engagement for many of us. It's fostering these incredibly candid discussions, connections that often go way beyond just talking about the Perplexity tool itself.
It sounds like its success is having ripple effect.
Clearly, it's inspiring similar programs across the industry. It demonstrates the profound value of structured, community-driven learning and provides genuinely very beneficial experiences for users who are just eager to connect and learn from each other.
It's truly more than just a Q&A forum, then. It's become this vibrant hub for dynamic engagement, shared growth.
And this community is actively driving structured learning and sharing insights through all sorts of initiatives. We've seen mention of insightful Perplexity webinars, a comprehensive COMET workshop, complete with recordings and detailed notes shared widely, and ambitious plans for regular biweekly focus talks, specifically on different AI tools.
Taylor Talks, that's smart.
Yeah, and they're meticulously designed to cater to both pros and newbies, as they put it, creating this inclusive environment for invaluable advice exchange, open discussions about the pros and cons of the latest AI applications.
And people sharing their own stuff, too.
Oh yeah, openly sharing personal use cases, everything from effective LinkedIn posts they've crafted with AI to detailed spreadsheets analyzing LinkedIn use cases. That collective wisdom is becoming a core benefit of being in this thriving community.
The thriving, active community like that must also have its challenges, right? Particularly around information overload.
Oh, absolutely. That came up a lot. The sheer volume of messages can be overwhelming. Some users reported seeing 670 messages or even 1,200 unread messages accumulating super rapidly.
Wow, that's impossible to keep up with.
Exactly. It leads to genuine FOMO, fear of missing out, and significant difficulty in just catching up. Valuable information, key insights, shared resources can just get lost in the many, many messages.
So what are people suggesting?
Crucial suggestions like creating dedicated resources channels or having consistently updatable pinned Notion pages to act as central repositories so key information doesn't just vanish in the stream.
I can definitely relate to that message overload. It's a real struggle. And scheduling things must be tough, too.
Another significant hurdle. Scheduling community calls is hard because members are often busy at work and they're spread across different time zones.
Yeah, the time zone challenge.
Leads to ongoing discussions about the optimal times, maybe moving calls to Fridays, but then that often conflicts with other pre-scheduled Perplexity events. It's tricky.
Any other ideas for managing the size? 650 plus fellows is a lot.
Yeah, there was a fascinating idea floated about creating an inner circle group for more consistent, maybe deeper engagement. It acknowledges that commitment levels vary among that many people.
Like a core group.
Kind of. It's a classic manifestation of what some call the two-pizza think tank problem.
Yeah.
The idea that effective teams should be small enough to be fed by two pizzas. Keep it focused.
I like that. 2 pizzas.
And furthermore, this mentoring and reverse mentoring model came up. The idea of teach me X and learn Y from me.
Reciprocal learning.
Exactly. Seen as a total win-win, fostering learning where everyone benefits from sharing knowledge and their diverse experiences.
This rapid evolution of AI.
Yeah.
It's not just changing how we work, is it? It feels like it's profoundly redefining what work even means. And with that, Our professional identities.
That brings up that deep, almost philosophical question, the end of work as we know it.
It feels huge.
It really is. This could be a significant cultural shift, maybe one unlike anything for the first time in 200,000 plus years of human history.
Why so dramatic?
Well, for centuries, our work has profoundly defined us, right? To the extent that many surnames came directly from work identities: Baker, Miller, Smith, Taylor.
Right, yeah.
Now, AI challenges that centuries-old connection between who you are and what you do for a living. It's forcing us to fundamentally reconsider our relationship with employment, with purpose, with self-worth, in a world where machines can do tasks we thought were uniquely human.
It's a massive reevaluation of our most fundamental societal structures.
It is. And this reevaluation naturally raises huge questions about fairness and value in this emerging AI economy.
Like who benefits?
Exactly. There's an intense debate about fair exchange and adequate compensation within our capitalist system, especially as AI drastically shifts productivity and how value is created.
What's the concern?
Some argue that those in first place, the top AI professionals, the companies leading the charge, might be paid unfairly more, creating an even greater wealth disparity than we already have.
And this is compounded
By the observation that many individuals just lack the liberty of thought and time to go that far and contest this growing imbalance. They're constrained by their current economic realities. They can't just drop everything and fight the system.
Some people are even framing this in terms of decolonization.
Yeah, using that term to talk about breaking traditional economic cycles and structures that have historically perpetuated disparity, suggesting a need for a more equitable distribution of the wealth and opportunity that AI is generating.
That's a powerful frame.
This profound societal shift is also fueling the concept of the sovereign solopreneur with an agentic army of assistants.
Okay, what's that?
It's this vision of the future of work. It empowers individuals to leverage AI tools, their agentic army, to essentially act as their own small, highly efficient enterprises without needing large traditional teams.
Sounds liberating in a way.
It does. However, this optimism is definitely tempered by genuine concerns about job displacement. Internal analyses, like one mentioned from Microsoft, specifically noted that web dev and data scientists are amongst most impacted jobs.
Ouch. Highly skilled professions potentially at risk. That highlights a potential major restructuring of the labor market.
It does, but it's not necessarily all doom and gloom for the job market.
What's the counterargument?
There's a compelling counterargument that AI will actually open up more possibilities, especially for data and dev jobs, rather than just eliminating them wholesale.
Ow.
The idea is that AI automates the mundane, repetitive tasks, freeing up human talent to focus on higher level, more creative, complex problem solving. So it's a transformation of roles, not necessarily extinction.
We also need to think critically about AI's expanding role in recruitment, right? You mentioned
Yeah.
the bias issue earlier.
Yes, that AI bias in blocking job applicants raises serious questions about explainability. Can we understand why an AI made a certain hiring decision? If not, that lack of transparency could potentially put recruitment in jeopardy. Confidence in fair processes could just erode.
So we need better tools.
Absolutely. The clear need for robust, multimodal AI detection tools that can analyze different types of data, not just text with high accuracy, is crucial. Unlike the current hit-and-miss tools, we need systems that can ensure fairness and build trust.
Okay, so innovation needs pathways, it needs funding, and in this dynamic AI world, hackathons seem to be popping up everywhere as these major launch pads for new ideas, new talent. They have a certain allure, don't they?
They absolutely do. Hackathons are really attractive for several compelling reasons. First, they often offer 0% equity.
Meaning the founders keep full ownership.
Exactly. Which can be incredibly appealing compared to other funding routes. It makes them potentially better than a grant, loan, or VC fund in terms of getting immediate, unencumbered capital.
And the prizes.
Can be substantial, often $100,000 plus or more. That's a significant injection of non-dilutive capital for an early-stage founder to really jumpstart their venture. It sounds like a dream scenario for innovation.
It certainly sounds like a dream, but the reality can be a bit more complex, maybe even controversial sometimes.
Yeah, that came through in the discussions too. Hackathon judging, while you'd hope it's focused purely on technical merit, often heavily favors the business perspective, the team's connections, the perceived reach or marketability of a project.
So it can feel more like a popularity contest than a purely technical showcase.
That's the feeling some people expressed. And there are other controversies too, like occasional instances of plagiarized projects, which obviously undermines the whole spirit of fair competition.
And what about developer skills?
There's also this perceived advantage of full-stack ing developers, even in challenges designed to be no-code or vibe coding.
Meaning, even in supposedly easy-to-use environments, deep technical skill still often wins out.
It seems that way. A strong technical foundation is often still key to really extracting maximum value from these tools and delivering something truly innovative.
Okay, so beyond hackathons, incubators are still a key option for AI startups, right? Offering a different path for funding and support.
Definitely. They remain a very viable route. These programs can provide crucial funding, often without also getting in your way too much. They give capital and resources without excessively dictating the company's direction.
And they often provide other perks.
A major benefit is often free access to AWS GCP and other tools. That can significantly cut down on those potentially astronomical cloud computing costs for a new AI company. It's a vital lifeline early on.
But founders need to be careful about the terms, especially equity.
Incredibly important.
Yeah.
While some good ones take equity, maybe a 5% minimum, which is often a standard trade-off for the support and funding,
Right.
others might be non-equity but could require subscriptions to co-working spaces or have other indirect costs, effectively making the funding function like a grant, but with certain strings attached.
So always read the fine print.
Always. Founders really need to scrutinize the terms carefully to avoid unexpected honeypots and IP locks that could compromise their long-term control or their intellectual property down the line. The terms are just as crucial as the cash.
This complex funding landscape brings us back to the broader AI business model discussion and that challenging hunt for sustainable market moats.
Right, that unique competitive advantage that's hard for others to copy.
There's that pessimistic view circulating that traditional sauce is dead.
Which contrasts sharply with the reality that the AI wrapper business, as we discussed, is proving incredibly tough.
Because of the cannibalization risk.
Exactly. The core concern remains that the core AI companies will cannibalize smaller players. They'll just keep integrating features from those wrappers into their own foundational models to beat their competition, eroding the market for the wrappers.
It sounds like an incredibly brutal market. Only the most innovative or maybe deeply integrated solutions will survive.
That's how it looks. We might also see a fundamental shift towards a pay if you are going to use model. Similar to how Midjourney operates successfully, no free tier, you pay directly for usage.
And OpenAI might eventually adopt that.
It's possible, moving away from freemium or tiered subscriptions to a purely usage-based model. This whole moat debate is intense. Is there really a sustainable competitive advantage in AI?
Or will factors like model training saturation, the point where more training gives diminishing returns?
And the fact that cheaper plus better performing doesn't necessarily equal energy and compute efficient?
Will all that inevitably lead to a monopolistic and long-run situation?
Driven perhaps by the sheer accumulation of GPUs by big tech, just creating an insurmountable resource barrier for anyone smaller.
It's a critical question for the future of the market.
And this fundamental question is even leading to AGI, artificial general intelligence, being framed not just in terms of raw intelligence, but explicitly in terms of profitability.
How so?
We see it referenced in things like Microsoft's $100 AGI definition. The pursuit of AGI is intrinsically linked to massive financial returns now.
So a race is on.
Undeniably on. To claim AGI first, not just for the technological breakthrough, but for the monumental boost it would give a company on the stock market.
And some predictions are suggesting this could happen sooner than we thought.
Yeah, some are suggesting maybe as early as 2027, significantly sooner than the more traditional 2030 timeline we used to hear. Driven purely by these intense competitive and financial pressures, it just highlights how the highest aspirations of AI are now deeply, deeply intertwined with market dynamics and economic dominance.
Wow. What a journey we've taken today, really diving deep into this rapidly evolving world of AI.
It's a lot to process.
It really is.
Yeah.
We've seen how these powerful new tools are emerging, creating both immense excitement and, some real frustration as users grapple with access, performance.
The COMET story really captured that well.
It did. And we've wrestled with those pressing ethical questions: privacy, bias, accountability, recognizing that the law is just constantly playing catch-up to the sheer speed of this technology.
The deleted isn't deleted issue is particularly stark.
Definitely. And perhaps most importantly, we explored that profound human element, the vibrant communities forming, like the fellowship.
Finding connection amidst the code.
Yeah. And the fundamental redefinition of work itself, the challenging funding landscape for innovation. It's all interconnected.
This deep dive, much like the candid conversations it drew from, it really reflects this period of intense learning, adaptation, and frankly, challenging a lot of existing norms.
It feels like a dynamic landscape where the lines between personal and professional, even private and public, are just continually being redrawn by the relentless march of this technology.
Yeah, the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet.
So as AI continues to become more integrated into our lives, making our tools smarter, our data more complex, it really prompts a crucial question for all of us, for you, our listener.
How do we navigate this?
How will we, as individuals, as communities, ensure that these incredibly powerful technologies actually amplify our best human qualities? Our curiosity, our collaboration, our ethical responsibility, rather than just overwhelming them.
It's the critical challenge. What active role will you play in shaping this unfolding future?